Okay, so today we are diving deep into your sources on microplastics and nanoplastics. And the baseline numbers are, they're just staggering.
They really are. The estimates suggest you could be ingesting up to 1 million microplastic particles every single day.
Wow. And our mission for this deep dive is to really separate what we all kind of know, the exposure risks, from the truly critical systemic threats.
Exactly. And that starts with one crucial distinction: size.
Yeah.
It's all about size.
Right. So you have the larger ones, microplastics, and then the nanoplastics.
Yes, and most of those microplastics, the bigger fragments, over 90% are cleared out through the gut. The body handles them relatively well.
But the nanoplastics.
The nanoplastics, which are less than a micrometer, they are the true stealth invaders. They're small enough to slip right through cellular membranes, past all our critical barriers.
And that completely changes the conversation. It's not just a gut issue anymore, it's a systemic invasion.
Precisely.
And speaking of that, your sources point to one huge and frankly avoidable source of exposure.
Bottled water.
Plastic bottled water. Just by relying on that instead of tap water, you could be adding an extra 90,000 microplastic particles to your load every year.
It's a massive volume amplifier. And once those tiny particles get in, they go everywhere. We're finding them deep inside internal organs.
And the most alarming finding I saw was about the placenta.
It's incredibly concerning. They've been detected in 100% of human placenta samples that were tested.
100%.
100%. And this is being directly linked to adverse outcomes for the fetus.
Okay, let's talk about the biggest target of all then, the brain. How are they getting past the blood-brain barrier? That thing is supposed to be a fortress.
It is, but they find a way. A common route seems to be through inhalation. The particles travel up via the olfactory bulb, straight into the brain.
And once they're in, they don't get out.
That's the problem. The brain is what we'd call a clearance desert. Unlike your liver or kidneys, it has no efficient way to filter and remove these particles, so they just accumulate.
Which leads to this dual toxicological threat you mentioned. Let's break that down. Threat number one is just physical damage, right?
Yes, the physical presence of sharp, irregularly shaped particles causes irritation, it causes inflammation. We can see the markers for that internal stress go up.
And the second threat is more insidious, the Trojan horse effect.
Right. Plastic is sticky in a chemical sense. It absorbs or binds to other environmental toxins, think industrial pollutants, pesticides.
So it's not just the plastic itself?
No, it's the plastic acting as a delivery system, carrying a concentrated chemical payload directly across your cell membranes.
And to make it even worse, the chemicals in the plastic itself, the plasticizers like BPA, they're a problem on their own.
A huge problem. They're known endocrine disrupting compounds, or EDCs. They seriously interfere with vital systems, particularly the thyroid hormone system, which regulates, everything from energy to growth.
The data on this accumulation is it's stark.
It is. In the brains of individuals diagnosed with conditions like Alzheimer's or vascular dementia, nanoplastic concentrations were found to be up to 10 times higher than in healthy controls.
10 times. And that rate of accumulation is speeding up.
By 50%. It's risen 50% in just the last 8 years.
That is an unbelievable rate of increase. So we have to talk about defense. What actually works? What does the science support?
For water, you want to start with source control. A good point-of-use device with microfiltration is highly effective. We're talking 78 to nearly 100% removal.
And what about the standard carbon filters a lot of people have?
Interestingly, they often aren't designed to catch solid particles. They can be. Well, pretty ineffective for this particular problem.
Okay, what about all the detox methods we hear about? Saunas, sweating it out?
So, induced sweating is fantastic for the chemical side of things. It's extremely effective at eliminating those fat-soluble plastic chemicals like BPA.
More so than urine.
Sometimes 4 or 5 times the concentration. But, and this is a critical note.
That doesn't get rid of the actual physical particle.
Exactly. There are 0 conclusive studies showing that sweating removes intact solid microplastic particles. For that, you have to focus on the gut.
Before they get absorbed.
Before they get absorbed. Using things that can bind to the particles' absorbents like activated charcoal, certain clays, even algae like chlorella or spirulina to make sure they pass right through you.
So the big takeaway here seems to be that while the exposure is basically unavoidable, we're not helpless. We can manage the systemic load with source control and gut interception.
Precisely. The goal is to manage that burden effectively.
So I'm left with this final thought. We know nanoplastics cross into the brain. We know they're found in far higher concentrations in people with neurodegenerative diseases. And we know that accumulation is accelerating at this incredible rate. What does this trend actually imply for the long-term neurological health of future generations if we don't halt this influx right now? That's the real question this deep dive leaves us with.